What's going on, my broskies? My name is Toadskii, back again, here to bring you guys yet another One Piece Treasure Cruise video. And today we're having a look at more of like a discussion type of video. Not really talking about any units in particular and doing any showcases or anything. We're just having a discussion about what's coming next. Because we all know that there is going to be more Film Red celebratory stuff heading into September. We don't know if it's going to go all the way to October, but we know for sure in September there is going to be more Film Red characters. As when the treasure map with treasure map Sanji just concluded, we had this silhouette right here. Now looking at it, it's really hard to determine what it is just by looking at the silhouette alone. However, with the Film Red promotional material basically everywhere, it didn't take long for people to realize which character this was actually going to be, and that character is going to be Chopper. So you get this is actually the base Chopper right here, but with this Chopper you can see that he has the horn on his head, and the way that the hat kind of shapes, it's the exact same way that this Chopper is, and that's basically his foot there. So we can determine that it is going to be Chopper, which does mean we're getting another set of Straw Hats for Film Red, which I don't like, because yet again it's another batch of Straw Hats. We literally had the whole summer Straw Hats, then we went into another batch of Straw Hats for the Film Red celebration, which was this outfit of Straw Hats, and now we're going into another outfit. So literally 3 months in a row getting an entire batch of Straw Hats is a bit excessive. I really think that they should have planned out the summer celebration a lot better, because we should not have had that batch right now. They should have related it to something else, because having 3 batches of Straw Hats back to back is just not what I like personally. But as I said, this was the batch of Straw Hats that we just received. We had Luffy from Login, Legend Chopper, we had the treasure map units Zoro, Jinbei, Frankie, we had the other ones in the rare recruits with Robin and also Nami, we had the Brook rare recruit, Pyrumble rare recruit Usopp, and then also treasure map Sanji. All of those characters came out. Most people would have had a chance to get some of those characters by now. Then we have the secondary batch of Straw Hats. So this is like the quote-unquote battle outfits of Straw Hats. So the way that it works in most of these films is that they start off the film with an outfit. Later on down the track, before the big final battle, they end up getting like another set of outfits, which is what we're seeing here. And we know that Chopper is going to be the treasure map unit. So it pretty much somewhat confirms the fact that the Straw Hats are going to be getting another batch with all of these characters in this outfit, which is interesting, and I really wonder how they're going to distribute these Straw Hats throughout the month of September. We know they did it kind of weirdly with the other batch, where they had, you know, login characters, then they had rare recruits, treasure map rare recruits, a couple of free-to-plays, and they also had the you know, the Usopp being a Pyrumble rare recruit. It's going to be interesting to see how they distribute it this time around as well. And, you know, obviously it means that, you know, these characters are going to be coming out, but does that mean we're getting potentially a new Legend Luffy as well? Some people have been saying that a Film Red Luffy as a legend would make a lot of sense, so that is potentially on the cards right now. If we have another Super Sugo Fest Luffy, I'd be kind of pissed off about that, considering we already have quite a few, and we know that as time progresses, every time they have a big celebratory event with the Super Sugo Fest, there is a very high likelihood that they could put a new Luffy, inject that into the game. It's not very surprising, but I think, you know, a lot of people are getting tired of another Super Sugo Fest Luffy. But then again, that's kind of like a really good way for them to power creep Luffy and the Straw Hats, and still to this point in time, a lot of people consider them to be the best legend in the game. I personally still think that as well. And I guess a good way to power creep them is just keep releasing Luffys, and it's hard to use Luffy in the Straw Hats with a new Luffy character. But, you know, we've got a whole bunch of other Straw Hat characters here. Now, another one that I wanted to give credence to was Shanks. I think that we definitely need a new Shanks character in the game. It's Film Red. We know Shanks is in the film to some capacity. To what capacity, I don't know. I haven't seen the film, so I can't comment on that. But Shanks is in the film, and the fact that we have this information right here, the boosted list for the next treasure map, and it does include Beckman and Lucky Roof free-to-play characters. And it's kind of funny because I don't think you can actually farm those characters in the game. The only way that you receive them, I would assume, would be from the treasure map free-to-play event that you play, and it gives you a whole bunch of free-to-play boosters. I'm pretty sure that's the only way that you can get these characters, I would guess, because they're not in the Recollection archive to my recollection. But yeah, that's cool that, you know, Lucky Roo and Beckman are here, which, you know, gave a lot of people the opinion that potentially we are getting a new Shanks character. I think it would be pretty awesome if they gave us a new Shanks that was potentially a super tandem character, and it works with some of his batch. But that's the thing as well, is that like they actually showed off a lot of Shanks's crew in the trailer, and I hope that they're going to be showing them in the film as well. So it would be cool if we got, you know, some of those really obscure characters that don't actually have units in the game yet, but put them into the game potentially for a Shanks Legend and Rare Recruit batch. Maybe you can have like a bunch of them being dual units, you know, that would be kind of interesting, kind of like what they did with Film Stampede. So during the Film Stampede celebration, we got a whole bunch of these free-to-play units. We had like Kid Killer together, you had Apu and Capone, like a whole bunch of these characters, and it's just kind of a good way to inject a lot of different characters into the game, you know, straight away. Just have a bunch of them as dual units, and you know, if you have all of Shanks's crew right here, I think you could definitely separate some of them into like batches or in a couple of groups and release them as rare recruits with Shanks and have them be super tandem. I think that would be absolutely wicked. As I said, you know, a lot of these characters don't have units in the game. The only characters that really have units is going to be Beckman, Yasop, Lucky Root, and Rockstar, so it would be nice to get some representation for some of the other characters in his crew. And as we said, you know, these characters are boosted on the treasure map. There's a high likelihood that a new Shanks is going to be on the horizon. But what would the Shanks even do? Now, I think that drawing parallels to a couple of different units in particular is a good way to start. Like, the thing is with Uta, Uta has a really cool effect. Well, she's a cerebral captain. We know a lot of Shankses that release in the game tend to be cerebral, so that obviously makes sense. But she has this really cool, unique ability of applying turn progress effect, and it says that if you already have it activated, you get a full board of slots, including block into int, lock them for 2 turns, and you get a chain multiply boost for 3 turns. So because she is the only character in the game with a turn progress effect, it means you have to use 2 Utas in order to get that secondary effect to activate. And that's kind of annoying because sometimes you don't want to run double Uta. So what if they introduced Shanks into the game that also had a turn progress effect, but obviously potentially wouldn't be an attack and orb booster? Maybe instead of that, it ends up being like a chain boundary, and you get a different chain boundary every turn, and maybe, I don't know, color affinity, or maybe a conditional boost that he can activate very easily with his captain effect. That would be actually kind of interesting. If, you know with like Hybrid Kaido, where if he has a Wano slot, and you hit with him, increased damage taken to the enemy, and his special ability provides a conditional boost against that. Well, that would be cool if you could have like a conditional boost and a chain boundary with an effect like that, and you can stack it with Uta, and you know, depending on what type of effect you want activated, you can have Uta for the attack and all boost, and then potentially Shanks says, if you have a turn progress active, do X effect, otherwise provide Y effect. Like, I think there could be some really cool synergy between the two. Do note though that Uta will be receiving a 6+. We don't know when the 6+ is going to be coming out yet. However, it could also lead into more spoiler territories for people that haven't seen the film yet, and it also could potentially change the character completely. Like, we don't know what they could even what they could even do for the character. They could go down completely different route and make the unit not even similar to what we have right now. We'll have to wait and see how the 6+ progresses with Uta. But another thing as well is Goldie Roger, the original Goldie Roger. The thing about him that's very unique is that he is the only character in the game that has this ability, where once per adventure you can negate the effect of remove beneficial effects or accumulated values, and he, as I said, he's the only character in the game that has that. So it would be interesting if they potentially added that effect onto Shanks as well, because it is a very useful ability, and it also means that if you have turn progress effect, that the enemy cannot remove it off of you, which would synergize with Uta, and it would synergize potentially with our idea of a Shanks unit that also has turn progress effect, just negate the effect of it being removed. I think that makes a lot of sense. So, and it also, you know, the Shanks and Roger have a really nice parallel and synergy between the two. It would be pretty cool if they ended up doing that. Also, he does remove despair completely with Roger. We've got Uta, who also has inbuilt utility with her captain ability. So if they end up doing a Shanks character, I would also love to see some really cool utility, which could also provide, you know, really cool synergies between Uta and Shanks as dual captains. But that's pretty much all I've got here today, just to give you guys a bit of a discussion about what's coming next. Obviously the new treasure map, so we'll have to wait and see. But I mean, what's the date now? The date is the 22nd as of the recording of this video. I believe they said that part 2 and 3 of the Super Sugo Fest leaves on the 27th. So I would say probably on the weekend that we're going to be getting some type of other big celebratory Sugo Fest batch, whether it be Shanks, a Luffy, or maybe it's not even going to be Film Red related. I'm pretty sure it's going to be Film Red related. Let me know down below in the comment section what you guys think, and obviously be mindful of people that haven't seen the film yet, so don't go ahead and post a bunch of spoilers in the comment section for those who haven't seen the film yet. But that's going to wrap it up for me. Thank you so much for watching, and if you guys enjoyed the video, make sure to go ahead and leave a like, and if you want to stay up to date with all of the content that I post, including more One Piece Treasure Cruise content, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below. But on that, guys, I'll see you guys within the next video.